On sale October 11th. It's called Revenge: How Donald Trump Weaponized the Department of Justice Against His Critics. Michael, great to have you here in studio.
Good to see you, Allison.
So what about that premise? Is this the closest that Donald Trump has come to being in real legal trouble?
It's certainly the closest I've ever seen him come. As you know, Donald Trump has been like the Teflon Don. It appears now things have changed. You know, one of the things that Donald has been so cautious about his entire life, he took the suggestions of Roy Cohen, never have your fingerprints on anything, which is why he's never had an email address. He never texted, very little in writing. But everything that's going on now, especially when you're with government, everything is documented. And so, including like the conversation with Brad Raffensperger, including the conversation he had with me about making a payment, and that one was for Karen McDougal, which was not made by me, it was made by AMI and David Pecker, National Enquirer.
Yeah.
But we're at a situation now where the documentary evidence and the recordings and all of the information really appear to be closing in on him.
Let's talk about the classified documents that were apparently being stored in the basement in a storage room in Mar-a-Lago. You've been to Mar-a-Lago many times?
Yes.
Were you aware that there was a safe or a storage room or a surveillance camera?
Well, I knew there were cameras because, that's something that, Matt Calamari at the Trump Organization does. They put cameras everywhere in all the buildings and all of the Trump
Why do
properties.
they do that?
Security. And it's the right thing to do for members of a club like that. But I never knew about the basement. I never knew that he had a safe, which is, very interesting that whoever the informant was knew exactly where to go, knew exactly the information that was there, both in the safe and in the storage area.
And what does that tell you?
Well, to me, I believe, and I say it's my personal opinion, I believe it's Jared Kushner. I believe that only family would know the existence of a safe, let alone the contents of that safe. And so, who else could it possibly be? He doesn't trust Don Jr. He's made it crystal clear. I write about it in the book that Don has the worst judgment of anyone he's ever met. Eric, I could understand, may possibly know, but Ivanka and Jared as a team, especially since Jared was the secretary of everything?
So basically you're suggesting, but we don't have any evidence of this, that it's somebody in his close circle and it's somebody in his family. And what would Donald Trump's mindset be tonight, knowing that there are people who know this information that are cooperating with the FBI?
This is a real problem for him. You see, Donald Trump is like First Avenue when it comes to loyalty. It's one way, right? And he's the most disloyal human being that you'll ever meet, but he expects 100% loyalty from everyone around him. Now that his inner circle is in his mind, who is it that is providing information to the FBI? Who is it that's creating this headache for him? This is driving him crazy because he can't figure it out, but he knows it has to be someone in that inner circle. And he really doesn't have anybody outside of that circle to trust.
Why do you think he had 20 boxes of classified top secret? I mean, these things were designated as top secret or even higher, sensitive, compartmented info. What was he going to do with that info?
Well, first of all, shouldn't everybody be keeping it in the basement of Mar-a-Lago, right? I mean, you're asking the exact question that I was hoping everybody would ask, why? And I'll tell you, my belief is that he was going to use it as a bargaining chip, as a get-out-of-jail-free card.
What does that mean?
Well, the second that they would put him in handcuffs, he would turn around and say, you don't seem to understand. I have the documentation showing, for example, where our nuclear launch pads are or where other information, sensitive national security information. This is what I believe. And he would use it and say, if you proceed with this, I'm telling you right now, there's 20 of my loyal supporters. You don't know who they are, but we will release that information to Russia, to Iran, to whoever it might be, because he doesn't care about this country. I've been saying that forever. The whole presidential election was supposed to be the greatest infomercial in the history of American politics, which he just happened to win.
But knowing him as you do, in other words, you don't think these were just mementos. He wasn't just keeping Kim Jong-un's love letter as a memento.
I'm sure some of it was Kim Jong-un love letters, or a letter he may have received from Vladimir Putin about his Miss Universe pageant, something that he could show off if he ever felt he needed to have that document. But I believe that the sensitive information that's there was used or was going to be used by him as a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Just to recap, the FBI searched your office, as you well remember, as well as the home and our office of Paul Manafort, Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, Jeffrey Clark, you and I have talked about this before. Why do so many people around Donald Trump get into trouble, into legal trouble, but he doesn't?
Yeah, because he doesn't put his fingerprints on anything, and the rest of us are just stupid. Our job is, well, mine was to protect him at all costs, whatever it is that he needed to. And he didn't come out and make overt statements like, Michael, this is what I need you to do. He would speak in code. This can't happen. And so you go out and you run into the fire for him to protect him, yet he's the one that started the fire. And he doesn't care if you get burned or not.
Michael, it's always insightful to talk to you. Great to have you here. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Good to see you, Allison.
Okay, so the first numbers are coming in as Congressman